And instantly, the chiropractors that are in our network show up with the map. So you can say, hey, patient, what zip code do you live in? Yada, yada, yada. And it shows up. You can click on right here instantly. So let's say this is the one that works for this client. You can instantly connect with them. So I could hit connect. And then I go right to their connect feature where I can say, hey, Dr. Parton, looking for, we want to connect with you. Or if I want, I can instantly send the referral. It drops down and I don't even have to go to his profile. I just hit patient's name, email, phone number, MVA. Could you please offer a consultation? This is our patient who's moving.
Hello, Dr. Shelley here with the Whiplash Group, and I'm here with Dr. Dawn Kyle, and she runs this great MedLinx network and connection power tool for helping medical doctors, chiropractors, and attorneys that are really focused on personal injury to be able to network and connect with each other. And it does way more tools than just what I'm talking about. She's going to deep dive into this. We're going to talk about marketing today because in the Whiplash Group, obviously, we want to help you get certified. And as a certified expert, now we want to help you market yourself as a certified specialist in your field, in your community, in your state, and beyond, so that the bigger you go, the more leverage you have in your local footprint. And she has some amazing things to go over today. And I think we're going to cover some good headspace. We're going to cover some good marketing tools. We're going to cover how to get your name and your clinic out there, as well as how to network arm in arm, hand in hand with other experts in personal injury. So, Doc, thanks for being with us today, and take the wheel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jay. I really appreciate it and so happy to be here. Well, I remember when I was in practice and I had a big practice, like so many of you right now, you have so many things pulling at you. And what I found is I often neglected one of the most valuable things to drive long-term sustainable growth in my business, and that was networking and referral building. I just didn't have a grasp on how can I do it and everything. And like many of you, you invest a lot of time in academics, right? You invest a lot of time in technique. You invest a lot of time in how to run your practice, and maybe even run paid ads, but you probably neglect this area like everybody else did, or you use it as a hobby. Well, I'm here to shift that paradigm for you and show you that investing a little bit of time in investing in some tools that aren't that expensive and don't require you personally to be there, but you do have to delegate your team. And doing this will exponentially grow one of the most long-term sustainable referral growth networks that builds equity in your business. And you're not just renting space with paid ads. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So what you do when you build that referral foundation, and of course, all of you have your attorneys you talk to in a group of doctors maybe, but I can tell you from a marketing perspective, you do not know enough. Okay. The ones you've known, and a lot of them you've known the same years over and over again. And it's time to expand and think of this as the same way you think of running ads, right? Volume. You need volume because people leave, they retire, they change allegiance, they have shiny object syndrome just like you, they get busy. And so you can't just rely on that one group of people you've known for the last 15 years. That's not a way to expand. And it's also not a marketing strategy. That's what we call just friendships and buddies, but that's not sustainable and that will not grow and scale your business, right? So we all know that. Now, how do we do it? That's the question. So what we've done now with MedLinx is we've introduced using tech to help us connect faster, less friction, and you could get anybody in your staff to be now your marketing referral connector. You could take Sally at the front desk, throw her a little extra, for 2 hours a week, have her push a couple buttons, zero cold calling. Your front desk girl does not want to cold call an attorney's office for you. They do not want to knock on a doctor's door. That is not their job or their comfort house, right? And many of you don't even like to do that. So why do you push it on your front desk girl, push it on your office manager? That's not what they want to do. And they don't do it well because it's not their wheelhouse. So we've made something where you could take anybody, you could take your teenage daughter and she can become your marketer. And what it is we've taken away the friction, the scary stranger danger, the cold calling horrible experience that everyone hates. And we've made it insulated where at the push of a button, you get into a like member who already has a vetted background and already is aligned with wanting to connect with you because you're all part of the same golden pond, right? And that's what Jay and I've talked about before, right?
Yeah, and I'd just like to point out what's really powerful about this is, we've got our certified doctors and attorneys landing page on the Whiplash Group, but it gives you good static stuff of Google Analytics of helping. This is flexing its muscles for you regularly with other like-minded, want to get trained experts, rather than going, you're just connecting with a bunch of attorneys or doctors that don't know how to do their notes right, or always want to hack the fees of the doctors because you're just trying to grow your volume. This is quality volume, folks. This is the stuff that makes the magic happen. Like you say, building those relationships long term. So this keeps the referrals and the relationships going rather than work hard and then they retire, work hard and then they change what their specialty is.
No, and you're absolutely right. It's not, and it's I think also for a lot of us, and I was there too, believe me, before I was able to step away and get into online marketing and all that, it's hard to wrap your head around how do you do it and make it a structure and a system because it seems so nebulous. Do I just go to a wine meeting? Do I go to a happy hour? What do I do? Do I call and then I meet them for lunch and then what do I do? So it tends to get pushed away. Because running paid ads is like, oh, I give my money to an agency, they do all the work, and I just sit back and collect, right? Now, granted, there's need for both of those. I'm a big proponent of paid ads, but they have to make sense and they have to have a great ROI. But the problem with them is you're renting space and you're competing against every other person who's running for the same target audience. And I'll tell you this in personal injury, especially, those ads are way more expensive than traditional just chiropractic ads. So if you're trying to pay for injury ads, you're competing against orthopedic surgeons, you're competing against big groups, you're competing against all the attorneys, everybody trying. And if you look at the data, only 15% of injured people online choose their provider by an ad online. It's not a very big group. So why are you fishing in that small pond and paying more for the little tiny fish you might catch, right? So when you build your referral network, and what I mean is MDs, physical therapists, chiropractors, orthopedic surgeons, neuro, pain men. We're not talking just attorneys, okay? Because those people, where do you think most of those injury people are? They're in the MD's office down the street that doesn't know you, the PCP provider that doesn't understand chiropractic at all and is just sending to physical therapy. So how do we break into that? Well, we do that by getting the ones that are aligned and want to refer to chiropractors so you can identify them at the push of a button. Because how do you tell online either if they're chiro intuitive, if they're chiro friendly, if they understand chiropractic care? You cannot tell that from a website. So you might go and spend all this time meeting with somebody and find out later that they have a bias against chiropractic or they don't even understand it and they don't really know why they would refer to you. But they'll meet you for lunch, right? Well, who's got time for that? So there's lots of methodologies that we can apply to build that equity. And you want to think of it like investing in a stock. It's not something that's going to turn over tomorrow. It's not something that's going to be instant, like running ads and seeing leads. And believe me, even those leads you have to filter through and maybe you get one or two really good clients. So let's be real. None of it's perfect, right? So the thing about this I want you to think about with your paradigm shift is the exponential hockey stick growth that will occur. And you know this, Jay. If you keep plugging, think of it like this, what you tell your chiropractic patients, if they keep coming and they stick with their 3 times a week or their 2 times a week, what's going to happen in 4 weeks? Are they going to start to see an exponential feeling better? Absolutely, right? If you're telling them to do that, why aren't you taking your own medicine when it comes to your marketing? Your own medicine is you need to keep something consistent, sustainable, and you will see the hockey stick grow exponential just like the same way. So we have to give it a little time, but you got to be consistent, right? And we have a frictionless method that's not scary. It's very affordable and it supports Jay's training. So we want to showcase all of you that have been in the training and you're certified. We want to get you out there more. And then finally, what this does is it only takes one extra referral to have an incredible ROI with this program, right? Just think if you met that one doctor just because you were visible here and he happened to send you that one. And now he gets to, and think about the cascade of referrals that you will get from this MD who had no idea who you were, right? So that's what we do at MedLinx, along with, like Jay said, a whole bunch of other stuff. We have vendors in there that help support your business. We have paid ads as well. We have vendors that give you special rates. So if you do want to run paid ads, we can help you find those people if you don't have someone already. But the whole idea of it is to have the ecosystem that supports you, helps you grow and scale faster than you're growing right now, but really putting an emphasis on the 60% of your marketing that you should be doing, you should be, which is your referral marketing builder, right? So it makes sense? Okay. So Jay, what do you think?
I think that's all amazing. I think we need to show them a little bit of what it looks like, how to find each other on a map. I think we need to also address doctors and attorneys. This is where it's really funny. What I've noticed is a coaching firm as well as a training and certification firm is people get excited. They want to grow their practice and they want other people to market for them because they're busy. And so they get certified and then then I'm not seeing them invest in themselves with tools like this to help grow their practice, doing the magazine, doing the books, doing the lunch and learns. Nobody's going to grow you but you. And I just want you to think, if you're thinking of it's dollar wise, it's all about finding the right tools that have an ROI, which I'm sure you will address here in just a second. The huge ROI for these, having these multiple fishing lines out there. You can't just cast one. Like, I'm just going to do Facebook and spend $4,000 a month on Facebook, and you keep getting all these deadbeat leads in. I mean, you get a couple of good ones, but you're spending so much for such a small number of quality leads. If you find something like this where it's a low cost, it's the long game, it's going to more than pay for itself each year, that's a quality tool for you to use. Using something like the magazines, the other things, I'm just saying there are tools out there, but you have to invest in yourself. We're not going to do it. Buy these tools. I personally think, as a TI expert, once you get certified, you should be spending about $1,000 a month on your different fishing lines that are out there. And this would be one of those. And it's just a cost of doing business, but the ROI is there. And if you're noticing after a couple months, because you're keeping track of your stats, this one's not producing as well. Either you focus on how to retool it, or you drop it and you focus on your tools that work well. But this is something this is a long game tool, very cost effective, creates credibility across the board with other like-minded people, and it's an investment in your practice, docs and attorneys. So please really take this serious. Okay, show us how this works.
You see my screen okay? Right here, these little
Yes.
colors. Okay, so what I want to share with you first of all is this is made like Google. Okay, we keep it really simple, color coded. Nobody has to think too much. This is the back end of the actual framework that is the money machine right here. Okay, so you'll see this is a Dr. Pedley. She's a DAC bar. And up over here, you've got these little tool buttons. There's a business toolkit, dashboard, search, connections. So here's the referral button where people can refer. You can refer out and receive a referral within 6 seconds. Okay. New connections. This is where you're connecting to meet. Let's say you want to meet somebody who maybe is a marketing company, or maybe you want to meet somebody who lives on the other side of the state that you'd like to connect with. You can do new connection button and instantly connect with them. So what it looks like is if we go to Dr. Pedley and we see her area right here, this is her profile, and she has these connectors. So it looks like a law firm reached out to her, and instantly she was able to see the chat window and see that these guys sent a message. You see this right here? Hello, Dr. Pedley, whatever. And she met them, and it's all saved in her dashboard here. And this will be mobile friendly. You'll be able to do this on your phone. So that's the new connection area. Then referrals, that's a different button where they would send a referral. So if we take a look at her public listing, now she's a DAC bar. And what she does is she helps people with their readings and doing, DAC bar stuff and ligament studies. So she's not local anywhere. She goes nationwide. So her dashboard, and this is what yours would look like. You can have your profile up here, basically your billboard. You want to have visibility to show people what you're about and who you are. Has her photo right here, shows all of her contact information, a little bit about herself. She can add videos and all kinds of photo albums so you can see all about her. But here's the key right here. Instantly, I can click on her within 6 seconds. I can send a name, email, phone number of a client that I may want to send over to her, MDA, whatever. I hit that within 6 seconds. It's now right in her inbox. I don't have to call her. I don't have to email her. I don't have to do anything but click a button. And this is what I meant by your front desk person can do all this for you. It's so simple, right? Everybody can click a button. Then let's say you are a chiropractor and
Doc, when you do that,
Yeah.
if you receive one of those, does it send you something besides in the app, or do you have to check the app every day?
Oh,
And I
no,
can
no,
edit
no,
this out
no.
immediately.
So it'll send an email instantly to whatever emails multiple that you want. So if you have a group, you have a team, it'll instantly send that at the very same time to say, hey, you've got a lead, click here, and then you just log in. Keep it on your book and you log in and you'll see it right away. And we're making this very mobile friendly so that it will also go to your phone. So if you want to sign somebody with an SMS message or anywhere you want it directed, we can do multiple areas of a touch point so that you don't ever miss anybody. Because remember, it's speed to the lead, right? You don't want to let any lead sit longer than, what's the 5-minute rule if you can, right? Instantly, if you can. So those are things. We have different phases of AI development we're adding in here. It's going to be so much fun to hang out with us. Trust me, in about 6 months, we're going to have all kinds of gadgets. But for now, you get an email and then we'll have an SMS. So that way you don't lose any connection or any lead. Okay.
And do you have a map of the nation as you start filling up spots where it's easy for people to find somebody they want to refer to in another state?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm going to show you right now, this feature here. So can you see these little cool buttons in different colors right here? So this
Yes.
is the master search area as it is right now. And later we're going to have AI where you can simply ask it a question and it'll bring people up. But right now, this is where we're at. So let's say you're an attorney in Ohio, and you have a case to share in Washington, and you need to find a chiropractic home for this patient of yours who's moving to Seattle, let's say. You can just click on Washington Chiropractic and you hit search, and instantly the chiropractors that are in our network show up with the map. So you can say, hey patient, what zip code do you live in, yada yada yada, and it shows up. You can click on right here instantly. So let's say this is the one that works for this client. You can instantly connect with them. So I could hit connect, and then I go right to their connect feature where I can say, hey, Dr. Parton, looking for, we want to connect with you. Or if I want, I can instantly send the referral. It drops down and I don't even have to go to his profile. I just hit patient's name, email, phone number, MVA. Could you please offer a consultation? This is our patient who's moving to your area. If I want to, I can then also look at his profile. But what this will do, which is really cool, is that when he logs into his profile from his point of view, this little button right here is going to light up for him, and the referrals will show up in there. And the cool thing that I love about this, which makes connecting even better, is that it will show who sent the referral over. So not only do you get the referral, you also see, it's kind of what I say, it's like LinkedIn a little bit, where you see the other person, but now I can go back and go, oh, Dr. Kyle, I haven't met her. Let me click on her profile. And now instantly I can go see who sent me the referral. And so it makes this connecting thing so much speedier and accessible. And then the other feature we have in here, so your dashboard, you all get your own dashboard that you can put everything you want in here, all your information, videos. We help you design your dashboard so it's the most compelling. But then finally, we have the business toolkit. And guess who happens to be in this toolkit? We happen to have, let's see, there's Mr. J. Okay, we have Jay Shelton in here. So here you have, this is your profile, Jay, and we're working on it so that you can see he's in here. So if you want to reach out to him, or maybe if there's someone you want to help do your taxes, or maybe you need someone to help with other areas of your business, we're going to have these vendors in here that you can have access to at a membership rate, so you always get a discount. So it's a nice ecosystem for you that I wish I had when I was in practice. Boy, would it have made my life a lot easier. But before that's basically it in a nutshell. It's very simple, but it's very powerful. And that's what I want to just stress, that this is extremely powerful, even though it looks very simple.
I think it's a great tool, and I think it's a nice way for you to find people you're meeting at the seminars because they're going to be using these things. Like, oh, I like that doc or that attorney that I met in Spokane, for example. Spokane's coming up in a couple months, or you met him at a seminar 10 years from now because this thing's going to be growing together. I think this is a very synergistic tool to use with the Whiplash group. And look, we're all professionals, but we only look as professional as the tools that we use in our office and the way we dress and the staff we have to all together raise that bar of professionalism. And this is a really nice way. It's like a great digital, it's more than just a business card. I mean, literally, this does so much stuff, but I'm just trying to say it's a sexy business card, or it's just a really great way to connect with other like-minded professionals. So I hope you guys take advantage. Is there a button you can push that actually goes for the general population to be able to find these certified doctors and attorneys?
Absolutely, Jay. You hit a key component of what one of my missions is I don't want any patient left behind. And the best way that they can get access to high quality doctors, especially trained in PI, is our front access facing. So we are going to have a public facing where patients can find good doctors, find good attorneys, find good, orthopedics with a brand that they trust. That will be rolled out at the May event. Yeah, absolutely. And one more note that I just want to share is, when you're thinking about how your brand appears to the public, oftentimes we get caught up in our own bubble, right? The doctor goes in, they own the office, everybody in there works for you, so they're always super nice to you, and then all the patients see you as an authority. So you kind of live in this bubble that you think everybody else already knows how great you are. The truth is they don't. Right? They don't. And they don't, if you don't put yourself out there and you don't get visible and you don't align with brands that give you more authority, it's very difficult to break through the noise. Right? And so you want to do that. And we can help you with that visual if you need help with like how, if something's not being clear. And I'll leave this on a last note. We had a attorney group that joined us, and one of her outreach coordinators was looking for they want to work with chiropractors. And I said, how do you choose the chiropractors that you work with? She goes, well, it's very difficult online to know who does PI. And I was a little surprised. I go, because when you look at a chiropractic website, you tend to think injury care, right? But from a person who's not in our brains, as chiropractors' brains, remember, everybody outside of chiropractic doesn't think like a chiropractor. You have to cross that bridge. And how do you do that? It's how your messaging is, what brands you align with. What do they know as an authority figure? So how MedLinx also works for you is we're the ones attending all the events. We're going to the neurosurgery events. We're going to the orthopedic surgeon events, and they're getting to know our brand. So you being in there invisible by proxy will give you more credibility instantly because they're already aligning with our brand. So you're not having to create an individual brand, which is very difficult when you're a solo doctor or even a couple practices. You need to have a national brand, and that's where you get that credibility from Dr. J's program as well, right? Being part of the Whiplash group. You need these alliances, and think about it. Most big companies align with other joint ventures. They align with other brands to build their brands, right? Why does Nike find athletic superstars to do that? How do influencers get so big? Because they build that brand availability that people instantly say that's an authority. If they're connected with Nike, I'm in. If I'm connected with Grant Cardone, instantly I trust you for real estate investment. You, as a chiropractor out there working so hard, are not aligned with very many brands that anybody knows outside of chiropractic. That's the problem. So I wanted to leave you with that, to start thinking differently about how you position yourself in the world today, because AI is coming and everybody's going to look like a rock star online. It's not going to be your website that's going to drive anything anymore. So remember that.